Now I know what you're going to say. Didn't I already show off 5 tricks every beginner poi spinner should know? And the answer is yes. Kind of. See, the 5 tricks that I put in that video are kind of the default answer that many of us accept as the best fit for beginners. But since I made that video, I've come to believe that there might actually be a better approach. Drex here from DrexFactor.com, and today I'm going to take you through 5 more tricks that I think every beginner poi spinner should know. And this time, they're going to be tricks that I personally think set you up for long-term success with poi. Before we dive in, I just want to take a moment to give a shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Flow Toys, LMF Props, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all of these amazing companies by checking out the links that I've got down in the description of this video. Okay, so we all know that weaves and butterflies are the tricks that everyone starts off with, but I've been asking myself for a while now, should they be? Now don't get me wrong, I learned these tricks first just like everyone else did, but now a decade later I've also realized that starting off with these particular tricks got me into some pretty bad habits that took me a long time to train myself out of. They teach you to focus on getting the hand to spin the poi with minimal engagement from the rest of your arm. So when you begin to explore tricks that require more movement from your arms, you wind up keeping the focus in the wrong place, and the result looks really awkward. So today, I'm going to guide you through 5 moves that are still for beginners, but have been selected specifically because they're going to teach you early on many of the habits that you're going to need for more advanced tricks, plus which they all still look cool. So let's dive in. Number 5, pendulums. Now, pendulums can get a bad rap because when you start off, they don't look like terribly much, but they are amazing for teaching you fine control over the poi's momentum. Plus which, they're amazing for practicing timing and direction because they actually require you to go through the motion slowly, building great muscle memory for when you decide to move on to more complicated tricks. I highly recommend performing pendulums in all 4 timing and direction combinations to begin to get a feel for them. Take your time and get these solid. The muscle memory is going to be a huge help for everything else on this list. I'm also going to time out for a second here because some of you watching this may be wondering what exactly timing and direction means. If that's the case, you should sign up for my Intro to Poi course, Spin Poi Like a Rockstar, which I'll link to down in the description, as well as the cards up here on YouTube. It's totally free, and you'll get lessons sent to your email that will explain this concept, as well as so many more. If you're just starting off, it'll get you set on the right path. Now with all that said, do you know what the best part of pendulums are? They also teach you some basic transitions. Notice how at the sides on both together time same direction and split time opposites, we have this lovely moment when the poi are poking straight out to the side? Well, we can actually use this to transition straight back and forth between them. As much as possible, try and get your poi out perfectly flat to either side of you as you're doing pendulums and split time opposites. And on one side, simply drop both poi and hands together down across your body. You'll find you're now moving in together same. Nicely done! You can also switch back and forth in the same spot, splitting your hands apart now instead of letting them both drop together. Pretty cool, huh? You can also use pendulums to transition back and forth between together opposites and split time same direction. See if you can figure out how to do it on your own. I'll include footage of it at the end of this video so you can double check your work. Number 4, extensions. Okay, so now that we've figured out timing and direction slowly using pendulums, it's time to try doing the same thing, but with the poi extended the entire time. Basically, you're going to pick up the pace and spin your arms and poi as one solid unit. All that training from your pendulums is going to come in super handy here. Once again, you'll want to learn how to do this in all timing and direction combinations, spinning in complete extensions in together same, together opposites, split opposites, and split same. When you really work to perfect this, you'll begin to get a notion of the poi feeling as though they're an extension of your body. Pun intended. And did you know? You can easily switch back and forth between our pendulums and extensions. Try doing pendulums and split time opposites and then give yourself a kick of momentum to get those poi spinning as extensions instead. And when you're ready, let yourself settle back down into pendulums. This is a great tool for switching timing and direction in pendulums and then turning them into extensions once again. Number 3, in-spin flowers. Of course, the really cool thing that extensions set you up for are flowers, and more specifically, for in-spin flowers. As useful as extensions are for learning to extend your arms through the poi, they aren't actually that interesting to look at. In-spin flowers, on the other hand, solid gold. I've got a whole set of tutorials on how to learn in-spin flowers based upon being able to perform extensions. I'll link to those down in the description in the cards, but the Cliff's Notes basically break down like this. If you start with an extension, simply pause your hand for a moment at any position that you'd like to insert an in-spin pedal. Let the poi spin around your hand once, and return to the extension. Once again, learn to perform in-spins in all 4 timing and direction combinations, placing the pedals where you so choose. I recommend doing this with either 2 or 4 pedal in-spin flowers, simply because the symmetry works out to be really beautiful. And just like extensions, you can always switch back to pendulums to change timing and direction combinations. Do you notice a pattern emerging here? Number 2, upstalls. So in my other top 5 beginner tricks video, we did talk about both down and bottom stalls, both of which are relatively intuitive, and most important of all, they have gravity helping you out. And then there are up stalls, you know, the ones where the poi point up. So this time around, gravity isn't helping you as much, but these are still incredibly important for learning transitions. Again, I've got a whole tutorial series on how to do different stalls that includes this one, and I'll link to those in the description. But simply put, your job here is to kind of try and slide your hand underneath the poi head as it goes straight up. Think about it this way. As the poi is about to spin over your hand, you want to instead make it travel up in a straight line. You'll do this by sliding your hand straight out to where the poi head originally was, and let gravity and the tension of the tether kill its momentum. To get back out, you just pull your hand back where it came from and let the poi head fall back down to earth. Simple as that. Admittedly, this one takes a bit of work, probably more so than any of the other tricks on this list, but it's also going to teach you a lot about how you have to move your hand and poi together to make clean stalls happen. But what exactly does this give me that I can't already do with a bottom or down stall? Well, let's sneak up ahead to the last trick on our list for the answer to that. Number 1, anti-spin flowers. Whoa. Anti-spin flowers? On a list for beginner poi tricks? Those are way too hard. What are you talking about, Drex? Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria! Slow down, take a breath. I promise this will make sense. We tend to think of anti-spin flowers as being harder for beginners, but I'm pretty sure that's only because we start them on tricks that have nothing in common with them. This is one of those classic cases where the work to be done is focusing on the movement of the arm rather than necessarily the movement of the hand. And the thing is, I've got a method for teaching anti-spin flowers that I know works for even the most novice of poi spinners. Remember that upstall that we learned in the last place on the list? Well, there's a funny thing that happens if, instead of pulling your hand back where it came from, you instead move it along underneath the poi head. It turns that stall into a flower petal. What you want to do is practice stalling the poi up your midline as you move your hand from one side of your body to the other, and then practice stalling the poi down your midline as you move your hand back the other way. Think that you pop your poi head up your midline and drop it back down. Pop and drop, pop and drop. So from this point, all it takes to do an anti-spin flower is to pop your hand up with the poi and drop it down with the poi as you go side to side. That's it. If you can do both your up and down stalls, then you can do anti-spin flowers. Once again, you'll want to learn how to do these in all timing and direction combinations, but I recommend starting in together same to make your life easier. From there, you can work your way up to together opposites, split time opposites, and split time same direction. Now, if we take all these pieces together, our pendulums, our extensions, our in-spin flowers, upstalls, and anti-spin flowers, we have a basic vocabulary that teaches us a few very, very important things. First up, to control the movement of the poi with the movement of the arm. There's no more advanced tricks that you can get without this very crucial skill under your belt. Second, the difference in the quality and type of movement necessary to control the spinning of the poi. If you can go through in-spin flowers, extensions, and pendulums back and forth, then you're in the process of mastering having command of the momentum of the poi. Finally, freedom of movement. There's nothing wrong with tricks that keep your hands close to your body, but if that's all you learn, then you're not going to have freedom of choice in how and where you move your arms. These 5 tricks will help you get it. Cool, so I hope that was helpful, and I hope you get something out of learning all these tricks. If you'd like to learn all these tricks and more, I highly recommend checking out my Poi intro course. You can find a link to that down in the description, and it's totally free. It'll take you through basic vocabulary, concepts, and of course, basic tricks. Sign up today over at drexfactor.com. Did you dig this video? Find the information helpful? Be sure to know when my next video drops by signing up for my notification squad. Click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're the first to know when I put out something new. And before I turn you guys loose, I just want to put out a massive thank you to all of my supporters on Patreon. They are the reason that this video and all the videos on my channel exist. If you'd like to sign up to support the work that I do, please head on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi. Thanks in advance. And now, as promised, the pendulum transition from split time same direction to together opposites and back again. Did you come up with the same answer for this? So clearly, no list of 5 tricks is going to be completely comprehensive. What beginner tricks did I miss? Let me know down in the comments. And let me know what you think of this approach to teaching beginners. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to check out the other videos on my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy the flow. Peace.